Fresh, yeah. Ayy, she on me, she say she impressed. She say what I'm doing impressive. None of my buttons they press. Right now I ain't feeling no pressure, yeah. She on me, she say she impressed.
What's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy Groovy Jimmy back with another video. And this one is a little bit deep. So we're gonna get a little bit deep. I wanna let y'all know kind of what's been going on with me and why I haven't been posting as frequently as I want to. But that's all gonna change here starting with after this video. So I definitely want to thank everybody for subscribing, tuning into the first video. We're gonna go ahead and just talk about kind of what's been going on with me, okay? So I've been thinking about doing this video for some time now, and I knew it was gonna be kind of rough, but I just wanted to be transparent as possible, and just wanted to give you guys my truth, you know. So we're gonna start back around the summertime, maybe around like I want to say April, springtime, April. I started experiencing like some things happening with me health wise. Like I developed like this itching that just wouldn't go away, and I went to a dermatologist who told me that I could have possibly had eczema. So I started being treated for that. So I started taking the little gel she gave me to put on. It kind of helped a little bit, but the itching really didn't go away. And when I speak about the itching that I was experiencing, it's like the worst feeling that you could possibly feel. Like imagine scratching to try to satisfy the itch and it doesn't do anything. Like it's just like bone deep and even deeper than your bones. I can't even really put it into that much detail to where I could really like let you know what I was going through. But here nonetheless, it started affecting my day to day. But through this, I was still going to work and everything. So I had been experiencing other issues as well. Like I would develop these little um, nodules underneath my arms. I had one underneath my arm, I had one in my chest, and I had one in my neck. And one later on developed later on in my underneath my other armpit. So when I was getting those, I just thought it was like maybe my deodorant or something like that. So I switched up deodorants. It would go away, so I wouldn't think nothing of it, and I would just go back to my day to day, trying to go to work and be as productive as I can with creating content, putting out music, and doing things like that. So I had been going through this for like months, and my brother and one of my best friends, who was also like my brother, they both were telling me like, just go to the hospital, man, go get checked out. You know what I'm saying? You never know. It's better to know than not know. But I just had this deep gut feeling that something more serious was wrong, and I started doing like spiritual inventory. Like I knew that I couldn't be around people because I felt like I was conserving my energy. I don't know how weird that sounds to you guys, but I just knew that I couldn't give my all to people at that point because I was just literally crawling and it like inching through my days. So after I went to go see the dermatologist and she gave me the gel, I continued to use it. But then I started waking up in the morning and I would feel sick to my stomach. And this was like kind of weird as well because it would only happen when I would get in the shower and then I would have like this nauseous feeling. So one day in particular, I had that feeling, but I pushed through and I went to work. And when I got to work, I normally get there a little bit early so I can eat my like breakfast because we have like a cafeteria that serves breakfast and everything. So I get there early to try to eat and just get settled in before I start my day. And I started feeling weird. And just to be even more honest with you guys, I do have severe bouts with anxiety as well. So there's times where I know I'm having a panic attack or anxiety attack and I try to just push myself through it. But this day I felt weird. I felt like I was about to just like pass out, and then it just so happened that my best friend, shout out TY, he was at work that day because we work at the same place. He was at work that day and he just happened to come upstairs and like I told him like, dude, I don't feel right. Like I don't feel right at all. So I decided to call in, even though I was in the building. I decided to call in because I wasn't due in for another hour and a half. So I call in and tell them that I, wasn't going to be in today. I wasn't feeling well. Then I called my father and I told him like, yo, I'm not feeling 100%. Like, can you come swoop me from my job because I just feel out of it. So everything was like bright. The lights were like super bright. Everything was just bright. I just didn't feel right. I felt like I was about to pass out. So then I get over to my parents' house. My mom took my blood sugar. She took my blood pressure and everything seemed to be fine, but I just still didn't feel like myself. And through this process, I was losing weight too. And I'm not I'm not a big I got height on me, but I'm not a big guy. So like me losing weight was noticeable. I'm like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? My pants aren't fitting the same. And then like this lady that I used to work with at my old job, she saw me. I went into the Kroger here where I live at, and she saw me and even was like, "Hey, you look like you're losing weight." And like when I would hear those type of things, it would just reconfirm what I was already feeling, that something more serious was going on. So we're gonna kind of fast forward to September. This is where everything came to a head. So I'm at work. I had been experiencing computer trouble, so I hadn't been like really working. I was more so like facilitating, helping other people get acclimated into the workspace and things like that. And I'm at my desk, and I just see my arm starting to swell up. And I'm just thinking like I was seeing things at first. Like I know my arm's not swelling up. So I power through that day. I go home and I say, I'm gonna try to take a hot shower. Hopefully the swelling go down. Maybe I pulled something. So the next day I wake up and it's even bigger than it was the day before. So I go to work and I don't even really get through 30 minutes of my shift. I tell my supervisor, like, hey, I think I need to go home. And then I show him my arm and he's like, wow, like, yeah, like I would say so too. Like, go home, get some rest. Like your arm looks pretty gnarly. So I go home. And at that point, I'm kind of freaked out because I'm like, okay, now what is this about? So that weekend, I end up going to the urgent care and I go get checked out. And the lady just passively just says, like, hey, I tell her everything that's going on. I tell her about the swollen nodules underneath my armpit. She feels them or whatever. And she just, in passing conversation, just says, like, oh, it could be cancer. Like, just saying it, but not really saying it. And I'm like freaked out already. So she said that. I'm like, wow. So I asked her, like, is there anything you can give me for the swelling in my arm? Because it's like, it's starting to affect me being mobile. Like, I can't really do anything with this arm. So she prescribed me some steroids. So I start taking that. And then I call my dad as soon as I get out of there, and I told him what she said, and I was like kind of freaking out. I'm not gonna lie, I was crying a little bit too, because to hear somebody say that, I mean, it's a scary situation. So I call my dad and I tell him, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "Okay, we gonna go see their doctor that they go to." So my mom ended up making me an appointment for that Monday. I think it was Monday. I think it was a Monday, and I go. I can't remember the days right off, but I think it was like at the beginning of the week. So I go to see the guy. He decides to do a full checkup, blood work and everything. So I get through doing the blood work and I get through getting the checkup, and then he's like, "We're gonna call you with the results. But I also want to schedule you a scan so we can scan your inside too, because those swollen nodules have me kind of worried. So we want to see what's going on inside your body." So then that was on. They scheduled um, CAT scan. They scheduled that for, I think it was that Thursday of that week. So I go. Um, they could get me hooked up with an IV and everything, and to give me the fluids that I need so they can see the inside of my body. And yeah, this is kind of where it gets kind of tough because I get the scan. I'm feeling pretty good because I'm like, at least I'm about to get answers. At least I'm going to figure out what's going on. And while we're there, the doctor calls me and I answer the phone, and he's like, "It's kind of tough." Ooh, I said I'm not gonna cry, but if I do get choked up, it's okay because, I mean, I understand that there's like millions of people who go through this same type of thing, but just going through it yourself, it shows you a lot about yourself, who you are, and how you can handle adversity. But when I get on the phone, he starts talking, and then he rambles off. He says something about my white blood cells. As soon as he said that, I already knew it was something serious. So then he tells me that I have cancer. So I'm like, no, like I just remember just continuously saying no, 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 like no, I got too much to do. Like I can't have cancer, like because I'm a driven person. I got a bunch of goals and aspirations that I want to hit, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be in my life yet. So getting that information, getting that news, it really, really cut me deep. And my dad was there with me. He just sees me like kind of like in shock. So he takes the phone from me and he starts talking to the doctor, and they schedule me to meet with my oncologist the very next day. So I go from not knowing, I go from thinking I have eczema to finding out I have cancer. Like, just think about the mind state that I was in at that time. Like, I was in a whirlwind. Like, my whole world literally turned upside down within a couple days span. So now, I start crying because the main reason why I was worried is because I knew I would have to tell my mom, and that was the part that worried me the most. So when I get on the phone and I call her, she's already crying, and I just tell her like I'm gonna be okay. I'm like I'm not going anywhere. Like I'm gonna be okay. Are you okay? And she's like, yeah, but she's like I could tell she's worried about me. Like I'm the youngest one out of all my brothers. So this whole situation was just weird. I remember talking to her and calming her down, and then we all decided to meet at my parents' house later that day. Me, my older brother, my twin brother, my uncle, my brother's girlfriend. We all met at the house to kind of like talk about it, because like when someone goes through cancer, fighting cancer, it's not just a battle that you go through alone. And I feel for the people who have to go like through this process alone, because it's emotionally taxing, it's physically taxing, and honestly, you need a support system, because without that, it's kind of hard to put up that fight. But we all sat and we talked, and once I left the place where I got the scan at, I remember telling my dad like I can't cry no more. Like now it's just time to get better. Like I'm gonna fight, and that was my mindset from there on out. Like I haven't really. I get days where I get sad and I get kind of like in my head about it and everything, just hoping that everything continues to go well. But that's just part of the process. That's kind of what we say. Like it's just part of this process that you got to go through. You know. So we're sitting there talking. I try to make everybody laugh, like, cause I knew how worried everybody would be. So if they see me kind of getting through it and staying in a good headspace, that allows them to not worry about me as much, because the main focus was how am I going to handle this? Because cancer was like my worst fear growing up. As a young kid, every time I would get sick, I would ask my mom, "Is it cancer?" And it's kind of weird, and it may sound weird to me to say this to you guys, but like me and my dad was talking one day, and I was like, man, life is crazy. I was like, maybe me growing up always asking about that, like worrying about cancer, maybe somewhere deep down inside I knew this was going to be a battle I was going to have to fight at one point in my life. Because nothing really happens for no reasons. Everything has a reason. You get put in situations, God already knows you know the outcome. He's going to give his toughest battle to his strongest warriors. And this is something that I've learned, because I thought getting that news, it would be hard for me to even be alone, but I've shocked myself through this process, and I've learned a lot about myself. So what I like to call this is beautiful pain. So to anybody out there going through having cancer or a deadly disease, you just got to keep your mind strong. You gotta want to live. You gotta want to be around for your people, but you also have to listen to your doctors, and you have to listen to your body. That's the main thing. Is don't put more on yourself than you can bear. You know what I'm saying? You got to take it a day at a time. You got to be patient with the process. And the type of cancer that I ended up having was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a blood cancer. So I had got scheduled 12 treatments. I'm down to 3 more treatments before we do the final scan to see if I'm in full remission. But I'm doing well. All my test results are coming back in the green. Before, when I got admitted, because once I got to see the oncologist, he looked at me, he did an examination, and I thought I was going to go home that day. And I tell this story to my friends too. I was like, I left like my little humidifier in my room on, because I'm like, well, I'll be back, and I want my room to be, I wanted to have my humidifier on, because like I put lavender in it to keep me kind of calm. So I'm thinking I'm coming back home, but like when I went to the oncologist, he literally told me like, no, we're admitting you today. So that Friday, I got admitted to the hospital. I didn't get out of the hospital until that next Wednesday. Um, while in the hospital, I had to do a bunch of tests. Like, first off, they didn't let me eat because I had to do a couple scans, and I wasn't allowed to eat or drink anything. So my blood sugar was down. So I was kind of being kind of mean to my parents and to my brother, and they forgave me for this because they understood what I was going through. But we're getting all that information, and then like not being able to eat, and all that, and being worried about, if I'm even going to survive this. Like, I had a lot on my mind at that point in time. And when we did the scan, we ended up finding out that my spleen was like 16 centimeters wide. So I had developed, like, through, like, when it really started getting bad, when I would lift my arms up to put on t-shirts, I would kind of lose my breath, and I would do like that. And it would, sometimes I would be coughing so bad it would wake me up out of my sleep. That was when it started, like, kind of worrying me, because I'm like, hold up, like, I don't feel like I have a cold, you know what I'm saying? But why am I coughing? Like, and I was using the bathroom a lot. I was urinating a lot as well, and all these symptoms were tied to the same thing. But I would have never known that the itching, the night sweats, the coughing, and all that, the nodules. I literally didn't know that that was all connected. I'm telling you, like, I've been dealing with the knots underneath my arms and stuff for like 3 years. Like, at the beginning of COVID, I remember I was when I had the first one, and I thought I just pulled something at work at my previous job, because I used to break down trucks and stuff. But it turned out to be cancer. You know. But I wouldn't change this for nothing, because, like I said, it's a beautiful pain. I'm finding out so much about myself. I'm finding out how strong I am. It's brought my family closer together. We always been close, but it's brought us even closer together. It's changed my outlook on life a lot. It's also the reason why I started this YouTube channel, is because I didn't want to go through this process and not be able to show people that God is real, and you got to have your faith. You know what I'm saying? And also, God won't put nothing on you that you can't handle. You just got to trust the process. You know what I'm saying? And I told him to lead me, and I was going to follow wherever he took me. So, yeah, that's just kind of what's been going on with me. I'm nearly done, which time has flown past. But I just want to thank all you guys for supporting me, supporting me, my brother's music. Also, if you guys didn't know, I am a part of a group with my twin brother called Starship 711. We have a new project out called Vibes by Starship 711. It's on all platforms, all streaming platforms. So check that out if you get a chance. I want to take a shout out to all my friends who also been supporting me through this. I love you guys with all my heart, you know. And if I did seem distant, I mean, it was just something that I knew I had to do, because now I feel like if I would have been trying to still go out and hang out and drink and do all that type of stuff, like, I think the outcome would have been a little bit worse for me, you know what I'm saying? But taking that time to really do self inventory and really sit with myself, it let me pretty much preserve myself, because my heart rate resting was 145. And when I was in the hospital, they kept, like, checking on me, because they were like, you're here laying down, but your heart is racing as if you're, like, running. And I didn't feel any difference. And I can only get that to God, because, like, he kept me safe until I got to the hospital. The hardest symptoms didn't start hitting me until I was in the hospital. And I just give that up to God, because I know he was, he had his hands over me, and all my ancestors up in heaven. I know they were with me through this. This is one of the hardest things I've ever been through. But I promise this is going to make me a better person. I'm actually going to turn up more on these videos for you guys, bring you guys more bangers and everything. Make sure to like, comment, and share this video. I want to get this to get this around as many people as possible, because I definitely want to get my story out there, because I feel like it can help someone else. And don't hesitate to hit me up, send me messages. I'll respond, because like I said, you need a support system, and we're all in this together. All my cancer survivors, all my cancer fighters, I love you guys. Keep up the fight. Don't give up. Listen to your doctors on those days where you feel like nauseous and you feel like you can't eat, because there's a lot of things that go on with and oh yeah, I didn't mention this, but I had to take I'm currently doing chemotherapy. So I didn't do radiation. They set me up with chemotherapy, and that does a lot of things to your body as well. So, but I'm blessed. Like, my weight has jumped up. I'm almost close to 190 pounds, this is the heaviest I've ever been in my life. So, I still got all my hair, and I give that up to God as well, because my doctors don't even understand why, but I know I have a strong faith in the man above. So, through him, all things are possible. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely want to give a shout out to all you guys watching this video that took the time out to watch this video. I love you guys. And like I said, life is a groove. And when you're out of the groove of life, you can feel that. So you always want to stay groovy. You always want to stay lit, stay groovy, keep them positive vibes flowing. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if you need someone to talk to, don't hesitate to hit me up. You know, I know, like I said, I've been distant on social media. I wasn't posting as much as I normally do, but I'm gonna get back to doing all of that. You know, I'm feeling more and more like myself every day. So, by all means, this wasn't an easy video to do. I sat with this for a long time, and I think that's why I'm able to sit here. And even though I feel like I want to break down, I just feel like, you know, where my strength is right now. The strength is just showing people that it's not a death sentence to hear that you have cancer. You know, life still goes on, so you have to want to be there. You know, once you cry, once you get over the shock of hearing about it, what's left? You got to fight. You know, all you got is to live, like, because you don't want to perish. So the only option you have is to live, and is to fight. And that's what clicked with me instantly. Like that first day, I literally said it to myself, like, okay, I cried, but it's not going to change the fact that I have cancer. I still have cancer. You know, me crying about it didn't cure me. You know, I gotta want to fight. I have to put up a fight. You know, so that's one thing. That's my biggest advice that I can give to everybody out there is just live, and don't let don't let any negativity, no negative vibes affect you. You got to be like a bubble of just pure positive energy every day. Smile. Do your same routine. Get in the shower. Put on your clothes. Like don't just become your circumstance. You know, if you saw me, you wouldn't even know that I'm going through this. But that's why I wanted to do this video, because I wanted to be honest and I wanted to be truthful with people. You know what I'm saying? And that was my whole thing. And I told my parents, like, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel because I want people to go on this journey with me. So I'm gonna show you guys every step of the way as much as I can, you know. And that's one thing I got to get better with, because I've let a lot of time go past just worrying about trying to make this video perfect. But this video doesn't have to be perfect, because that's the beauty of life. Life isn't perfect. The beauty is in the imperfections, because that shows you that you can upgrade, you know, you can become better. So this is one of the hardest things I've ever went through in my life. But like I said, I wouldn't trade it for anything. You know what I'm saying? And like I said already, like, comment, subscribe. We on the road. I want to get to at least 1,000 subscribers within the next month. So, you know, just make sure you share this for me. Make sure you guys comment, like, and continue to be happy, blessed, and beautiful people like you are. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Groovy Jimmy, and I'm signing out. Life is a groove. Peace.
I feel like I'm alive, sliding in my ride, Jenny's by my side, yeah. Keep money on my mind and fell in suicide, I'ma always drive, yeah. That's on shit, that's on shit, that's on shit, that's on my shit, that's on shit.